Today is Thursday, January 24th. I am recording ABC Bullish Patterns for the January 25th and the following days. The first chart I wanted to show is a industrials. Dow is in a ABC bullish pattern. The trigger was at 12,748. It's heading towards its secondary targets, what I call. The first targets are between 62 and 79 percent. That's between 13,476 and 13,750. It's comfortably trading above it right now, 13,825. So the next target ranges would be between 14,537. But before that, there is actually 100% of the target, 14,100 or 14,000 between 13,988 and 14,100. We may see that a little bit of a resistance, and this is also kind of coinciding with the S&P's chart too. So let me go ahead and show you the next S&P chart. And here is S&P. S&P also has the same type of an ABC pattern with the entry trigger at 1373, 1374 area, and now it's reaching its 1506 and 1507 target, where you can see actually these two numbers kind of a confluencing too. So that would be where I would be actually looking for some type of a resistance. Next, let's look at oil. I'm still trading oil because I think my targets in oil are on is between 62 and 79%. That's 98.8 and 102, and that's what my targets are. So I'll be waiting for it. I know yesterday oil actually kind of dropped about 50-60 cents, but that's pretty common because nothing goes up straight. So basically, I guess we will be waiting for that targets to reach. The next is gold. Gold is an interesting chart, and today it actually dropped about between 18. I think 19. Yes, that's right. Between $19, I guess. Gold doesn't have it didn't actually close about the EL yet, but it did retrace pretty comfortable, about 66%. So what I would be looking for it is if it really trades and closes above this 1690, or what I call it the mid-fib band level, 92, 93 level, and that would be the buy for gold. So if it does really close it there, and then we can probably think of how far it can go. But seems like it's pretty much harmonic at this point, this pattern itself. So if it reverses again and goes back, then we can probably think about it. So at the same time, let me show you what GLD is. If you guys are trading GLDs, I would be actually looking for an entry into GLD also. GLD doesn't have a similar type of an ABC pattern because it may be a little bit of a different dimension. So, but here also again, I'll be looking for about 164 area for a buy. Next is an interesting stock, I guess, an Apple. I'm sure a lot of you probably know that the stock is has really dropped significantly. So what I think is, let me show you a weekly chart of Apple, and this is what I'll be looking for it. What I think is most of the time, any type of a chart which actually trades in a what I call it a parabolic pattern, parabolic arc patterns. It's kind of written in my book. You can talk about it. You can actually check it out. What is a parabolic arc? But here, what we have is Apple actually since 2009 had a low of about $78. It went up to $705. So that's tenfold in just the span of 3.5 years. So that's a phenomenal parabolic run. But most of the parabolic runs arcs actually do retrace it back to 62%. So what I'm looking for it is, this is what, if you go back and look at my post on November 12th, this is what I talked about it too. I said, well, I'm not trading an Apple at all right now because basically I actually wanted it to retrace all the way to this $317 and $391. Would it happen? I'm hoping it would, but if it doesn't, I'm not even going to trade this stock. So here, this is the 200 period moving average, which is actually shown by magenta, which is about $352. So if it does come between this 50 and 62%, which is 317 and 391, I know probably it's a lot of if anybody's still holding stock, they can't take this because it's probably falling about 50% from its high up of 705. But that's what happens with parabolic stocks. Most of the stocks do trace it to at least 62% of it, or if not more. Let's look at Cisco. Cisco is now trading about $21, I think. Once the chart shows up, you'll see. Yes, and then it has a solid ABC bullish pattern. Its first target zone is actually between $19.90 and $20, 21 and 22. So it is pretty much right now trading in that price range. Let's see, when is its I guess I don't see the earnings on it yet, but I think so. What I would think is usually at around this time, around 79%, we usually see some type of a retracement. If it doesn't, and if it just still continued, then I would really think that Cisco targets are much higher. It's about 25 to 27. That's probably that's what I would rank it as for the year end. And let's look at the Coinstar. And this is an interesting stock. It's quite beaten up in the last few weeks, and it's been trading in a really sideways for quite some time. So I'm actually basing on this pattern to, well, let's not look at the weekly ones. Let's only look at the daily here. It doesn't like it. Okay. Yes, here. So what I'm looking at it is in the Coinstar, not just the ABC patterns, because the ABC is embedded into its in what I call it the. Let's see if I can draw this. The neckline. Let's use a line. Oops. There is this inverse head and shoulder pattern which is forming it. It's not complete in any means, but if it does really close above this this level of a neckline, the neckline is about $54. So if it does close above, then I would think that it may be moving up. But until then, let's not really trade this yet. The next one is the Deckers. Deckers has a similar type of inverse head and shoulder pattern, but it also has an ABC pattern. Now it seems like it's actually broke out of this ABC pattern, and it's trading above EL and also the mid-fib band, and that itself is a pretty good indication that maybe there is a price moment is coming in, and then the earnings is due on February 21. It's quite at 28 days, and so I think it may reach that first target zone, which is between 48 and 40, between 43.50 and $46. If it does cross that range, then let's think about it later, how far it can go. The next is Fossil. Fossil actually kind of surprised me yesterday. It actually fell quite a bit, but then it is in an ABC pattern, and I do not have a position, but I thought that I would show you is it's actually it went beyond its first target zone, and the next target zones are between $109 and $118. And February 12th is its earnings. Let's look at this one. This is the GMCR, which is a Green Mountain Coffee. This ABC pattern is actually, I've been posting this for quite some time. This is what I call the perfect ABC pattern, and also it is now trading at $41 to $47. That's its target zones. So I do think that today it actually massively rallied up to 44, and the February 6th is its earnings. So I do expect it to probably reach at least this $47.81 before. Let me show you another one. Google. Google had a massive day yesterday, and also today it went up by $12. So here is Google's chart. Of course, the earnings are over right now. So the targets on Google is between 770 and 807, and that's the first target zone. So what's happening now is the target, also the time is in that. Let's see if I can show that here. This is the before 30th, actually about 30th January time frame. That's where the target may be reaching between $770, and that would be the first target of it. So that's how we will be looking at it in the ABC patterns. You can also not only you look at the price targets, but you can also look at the time targets too. Especially for trading who are trading the options, and that's really great. Let me show you another chart which is quite a bit beaten down, and then now it's actually coming back up. It's what I call is a JC Penney. This has like a smallest kind of a scale ABC in it, so that's what I'll be looking for, this pattern to actually trade it, but so far I do not have a position yet. This another one which I've been posting for quite some time, which is a Monster Energy. That's the stock, and this has an ABC pattern. So far, there's no entry in it, and the entry only comes in about $51. But for the past 3-4 days, the market action is completely negative on it, and so I guess if it hits below this 45.80 on the lower side, I think this trade is completely invalid. But I'm watching this stock to see if it does trade above this $51, and that would be the entry for it. The next one is Philip Morris, or I guess it's Altria now. This is the one which I posted last week. Some of you probably know this. This is the stock which is I think the earnings are today. I think it might have been over. Right. And then it's between 33 and 34 is the first targets for this. And if it does continue its ranges, it will probably go to next target is a 30. Actually $36 and $37. So that's what I'll be holding on to this stock for some time. And then a price line, I do not have a position, but I'm going to show you this chart, which had a pretty good ABC in the last few weeks. I'm not trading this. Quite a bit of risk is involved. I know it's a high beta stock, so I'm just going to wait for it. But the next earnings are on February 25th, which is about 32 days from here. But this is how the chart is. The stock is actually trading it right now. So the first target zone is between 624 and 699, and then then probably if it moves even further, it could even get to these levels of a 722, 755 levels. Then is the other one is the rack space. Here is an ABC pattern. It's not a completely full ABC, but I thought I would show you is it's kind of a shallow ABCs. Shallow ABCs is when the C retracement is less than 38%. It actually almost close to a flag pattern rather than an ABC pattern. But one thing is it actually bounced off of this mid fib bands, and now it's trading comfortably in this range. So usually shallow pullbacks usually have a much longer extensions, and that means it's the minimum of extension it will probably do is 100%, which that means the target would be $87, and right now it's trading at $79.25. Another one is the Ralph Lauren, which is the RL, which is a pretty big parabolic stock last entire year, and then it formed as ABC, and I wasn't really thrilled about this pattern. Even I've been seeing it for the couple of weeks, but I guess I thought I would show you Ralph Lauren has this pattern, because anytime when I see these parabolic patterns, I'm actually hesitant to take it from a long side. So that's the reason I guess I'm a bit hesitant about this stock. Next is the Riverbed. Riverbed is again, it's in a I like these type of ABCs which actually form after a massive sell-offs, and then they start showing some type of a ABC and then retracements. So right now it is actually retraced to 200 period moving average, and it's about to be bouncing from $19.50. So the next, I guess the earnings is on February 7th. So if the positive momentum continues on this stock, what we expect is before the 20th March, it would have at least this $23-24 range, which is about 25% up from current price, which is $19.50. The next one is Target. Target has an ABC, which is again in the top of the. It is actually forming in the upper fib bands range. So right now the Target has an entry above this is about is $59, and it's trading comfortably above it, which is about 61.90. So the targets would be between 66 and 64 and 66.75. So that's what I'll be looking for its targets, and it does have about another 30 days or so for its earnings. So the next one is VMware. VMware stock, I actually did not take a position onto it because I personally do not like stocks which have a pretty lot of choppy trading ranges and trading momentum. So because of that reason, I actually look at it this before this ABC. It's without the ABC. When you look at the pattern, I say, well, it's quite choppy. It doesn't mean that there is a pretty good ABC to trade it, but I do not have a position in VMware. And I guess the targets would be, I guess it is already trading in the first target zone. The next target zones would be like 105, $108 type of thing. So I guess that's where anybody would be looking for targets for that. Anyway, that would be end. I think that's about 15 minutes of this presentation, and I'll try to make one tomorrow or over the weekend.